guys.
Hi.
Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Chagozima Jindu and this is Choices with Chichi. As usual, you always know how I tell you I'm excited to have you guys with me. Well, today I'm triply excited. First, you guys are with me, and today I have my husband with me. Say hi.
Hi.
And he is?
Frank Adindu.
Then, for my third reason for being excited, we have the Daboops with us. Please introduce yourself.
My name is Plangret Dabu. The greatest Dabu ever lived.
And then,
I'm Peter Dabu.
oh, the husband man.
Yeah.
Together they are the Daboops.
My baby daddy.
No be smart. So today we are starting an 8-part series on notable and popular lessons we learned during our premarital counseling, PMC for short, in case you hear us mention the acronym PMC. As we continue through the series, you understand why our premarital counseling was a unique one. So today we'll be doing part 1 and we'll be looking at week 1 of our PMC. So just to tell you, so that you know from the beginning, our premarital counseling was 8 weeks. In fact, 10 weeks.
Yeah.
10 weeks. 8 weeks of lectures, 1 week of medical, 1 week for party. It was amazing. And we're not intending to even scratch the surface of the PMC experience. We're just going to talk about a few points that stood out to us during the premarital counseling. So today we'll be looking at week 1. Week 1 of our premarital counseling was basically preliminary, as is expected of most introductory parts of any program. So for week 1, we looked at duration of the counseling, the rules and regulations, what to expect, the purpose of premarital counseling, and a host of other things, including medical orientation, right and wrong reasons for getting married, and a host of other things. So, dearest Plank, what stood out to you for week 1?
Okay, hello everyone once again, and thank you Chichi for inviting us to be here.
You're welcome.
So as she said, it was an 8-part series, or it was an 8-part series. It was an 8-week program, and what stood out to me first of all is that we were told that we'll make family friends when we go through PMC.
Yeah, I remember.
And I think the fact that we're sitting here is evidence that that's very true. By the way, we go to Family Worship Center.
Yes.
So we were told a lot about it, and we were told about how we had to be committed to the process, and if we didn't complete it, we wouldn't be certified. But what stood out to me particularly on the first week, because there was a lot of information coming at us, and of course we're wondering what to expect. The first thing that stood out to me was talking about what the process was generally, and coming from the background I came from, most of the time when people go for counseling, it was more like a rubber stamp. So when you get there, you just tell them, oh, we want to marry, then you pick a date, give a 6-month notice, then you come. So it doesn't really give room to doubt the fact that you are suited for each other.
Yeah.
But what we were told was, no, this is a journey, and you understand each other better. And I was actually shocked to find out that so many people who had been through the process had actually broken up after the process, because the information that they got now showed them that really
They were not ready.
they were not compatible,
Or
and
they
they were not ready.
yeah.
And what stood out to me as well was when he talked about commitment, and not just commitment to the premarital process, but in marriage generally. And especially in our generation, there's been this ongoing discussion about how divorce is so easy, and I think we'll talk about that later in another. There's a week that we talk about divorce. But it was telling us that when you're coming into this, you need to be committed, and what commitment really is. And commitment is that thing that holds you together, even when you're not feeling like you love the person, you're not feeling like you're happy. But commitment is saying, oh, once I take this vow, I'm ready to stick with it throughout. And I think the last thing that stood out to me was when we had our groups, because we had breakout groups, which we used to go, in which we used to have discussions on Sunday. And the breakout groups, when we discussed what they brought to our attention was our backgrounds. And at the back of my mind, I was wondering, like, why do you lead with this? Why are you talking about our backgrounds? But even me, with the people in the class, by the time everyone spoke about their background, I realized we're really different. And the more diverse your background, the more work you need to put in. So I think from the get-go, they just wanted us to know that, okay, there's a lot of work to be done, but if you're ready to do it, then most likely you succeed.
Wow. Wow. Oh, that's amazing. I know. Thank you so much. Dearest hobby, what do you have to say?
Well,
What stood out to you?
a couple of things stood out to me. First off, I think week one was the week where they talked about medical, related things, issues of blood group, genotype,
Yeah.
why this particular genotype shouldn't be matched with the other genotype, and those types of things. And for me, what stood out to me from that class was resource factor. That was the first time I was not hearing about it, but that was the first time I was knowing what it was. Because I had always heard about and knowing what it meant and knowing the implications. So if you were resource negative as a woman, you needed to take this medication. And so sitting before the doctor, feeling like one pro, asking questions, it was because of PMC. Apart from that, we're told basically just different preconceived notions were debunked. We're told to be as open and as honest as possible. And then one of the things they said was for you just be willing to allow, when we say you went through the university, but the university didn't go through you. So they told us to be willing and be open and honest to allow the process, to go through the process and allow the process go through us. What does that mean? Be as honest as possible. If you hide it, you take it into marriage and you will be hiding it for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
For example, if as boyfriend and girlfriend, he hits you, if you hide it, it's going to continue till you get into marriage. So they told us to be as open and as honest as possible. And then, of course, basically allaying our fears and telling us, look, just be calm. All these people, they are for you. Because we felt like, because of the way the classes were structured and the different groups, at some point I felt like our counselors were taking sides with her. I felt like they were being unfair to some other person, another couple. But then, just going through everything, the key thing was honesty for me.
Yeah.
And, those were the things that stood out to me.
At first, I think I had a problem with opening up. Like, you guys are just supposed to come and tell us to go and cook. You can make money. Like, why are you telling me to be open? Anyway, Peter, did anything stand out to you? Were you as uncomfortable as I was on that first week?
Yes, we were meeting them for maybe like the first time, and it's difficult to just open yourself up to people you barely know, and but it was a challenging experience initially, but with time we began to open up.
Yeah.
One of the things that stood out to me for the first week was I think we spoke about oneness in marriage. Like we all know, God is the originator of marriage.
Married, definitely.
And He wants us to be one. It should be, though it's two people, but we should be one. Meaning one in purpose, one in our thoughts, one in everything we do spiritually. We should be one. Because two people can't work together except they agree. So that oneness really stood out to me. And then apparently there are wrong reasons for getting married, and some people might not know they are getting into marriage, but for the wrong reasons. Some people get into marriage maybe because they are broke. They just want someone to pay their bills.
I know.
Yeah.
And men
well,
too.
Men, well, they are
Both ways.
yeah, actually both ways. Some people get into my marriage for financial assistance. It's not a poverty alleviation. So yeah, it just made me to realize that there are actually wrong reasons
To get married.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Week one alone. I think for me, when I came in, I was shocked because they just started reading our rules and regulations like pam, pam, pam. I'm like, you guys, calm down. It's just premarital counseling. Little did I know that this was not the regular premarital counseling. First of all, my first shocker was the structure that was put in place. So we met every Saturday for about 2 hours. I think 4 to 6 or 3 to 6 or something. And that was like the general class. So every single person who had signed up for premarital counseling for that period attended the general class. And then we were now further split into personal groups, like groups of 4, I think G4, groups of 4 like G4. And each G4 had a counselor couple, like husband and wife, presiding over their discussion group. And like she said, that was where we made our first family friends as married couples. So for me, that structure really stood out to me. That was when I knew that, oh, this was not business as usual. And then, the first week, they asked us questions like, why do you want to marry him? So in your head, you know why you want to marry this person, but having to voice it out, especially to people you didn't know, was a bit uncomfortable. Especially when they asked me, why do you want to marry him now? Why now? I was like,
He wanted to marry me, not that's what he told me.
I can't remember saying that. Don't put words into my mouth.
Really?
But I know that at the end of the day, we sure got around to answering it, and then we graduated somehow. But it was a thought-provoking process for me. It wasn't just a regular sit down before you hear what they have to say and all of that. So week one was really amazing. And then something else that stood out to me was the fact that, like I said, I felt it was going to be them telling us what to do when we got married. But the process basically was about discovering myself. It was channeled towards helping me discover who I am, helping him discover who he is, helping me discover him, and helping him discover me. It wasn't just a process of sitting down before someone and getting rules and regulations. So at the end of the day, more than honestly for me, more than it was a premarital counseling, it was a personal counseling, a personal discovery process for me, honestly. I came out looking at myself like, I didn't even know this about me. And it was very, very, very spiritual too. So generally on week one, by the time we're leaving week one, what were the things that you had resolved to do? For me, I had decided to be open. By week one, I just knew I needed to be open if I was going to make this relationship work.
Okay, for me, one thing I remembered when you were talking was the fact that they asked us what our issues were before we got into the process. And he listed what he felt they were, and I listed what I felt they were. So I think off the bat, they had an idea about what we were struggling with. So by the time we talked about the process and how other people had been through it, and the counselors just basically spoke to us, I resolved that, okay, I was going to do everything it took to actually improve myself. Because somehow there's that little, especially in our case where we dated for a while. So I just had, there was a little part of me that felt like, oh, there's really nothing new to discover. But even in the process of answering the questions, like, what do you feel are your issues? Why are you marrying? When they start talking about something, like, oh, actually, we've not thought through this. I've not had to consider them. So it opened my mind basically and freed me to actually go through the experience and benefit from it.
Melo, what did you resolve to do after week one?
By week one, I felt before week one, I felt I was ready. I felt, it was just another class, and okay, yeah, sign up for it, get the needed material, do the required medical tests, and whatnot. But then after week one, I realized that I needed to work on my mind to be dedicated. I was, prior to that time, I was never afraid of learning new things. But then, just by listening to those people talk, at week one, this is what to expect, this is what's going to happen, this is what may happen. If you don't have to leave town, don't leave town, blah blah blah. Because you could be kicked out of the process. I said, no, I'm not about to start this and stop midway. So I basically upped my game, my mental preparedness, and basically resolved within myself to stay through the process. Yes.
How about you, Peter?
Okay. Basically, like he said, we came into the class with most of us, let me speak for myself, with a lot of faulty thinking. So by the first week, I already knew that I had to do a lot of unlearning. A lot of the information I had about marriage was just junk or was gotten from the wrong source of information. So after the first class, I just made up my mind that I was going to unlearn a lot of those things and start learning new things that I was going to acquire from the class, basically.
Okay, sorry. I thought, like Frank was talking, I thought of something. I think for me, not necessarily in our situation, but one great take home I tell everyone who wants to go into counseling is that I think it's advisable to go for counseling before you actually take a step to marry. because I know one question that they asked all of us in the class was whether we had begun the marriage process or the process of the wedding. And for some people, they had. And what it now conveyed was that they were not ready to face disgrace or anything. So it didn't matter whether or not they were compatible. It didn't matter what they discovered during the process. They were going to get married anyway. Some people had printed cards, paid for the hall, so it's like they were just looking for a rubber stamp. And I don't, even though it's the way it's done in other places, I don't think it's necessarily a good thing, because for many people, sometimes even we as fellow counselees, we could already see that this one is not going to work.
It's not going to work, I know.
This one has issues. But they just feel I've invested too much in the process. I've already done introduction. I've paid bride price.
Yeah.
How do I go back? But I think it's better, and I'm sure we all know one person or the other who went into marriage that way and didn't even make it past a little time. So I think no matter what, it's very necessary for you to go into the process with a very open and a clear mind. And marriage, by the time you go through it, you know that this is a lifetime commitment. I can't afford to make it just a decision shifting.
You know, like you said, my love, thank you so much, Plan. Like he said, when I saw that they were willing to kick you out if we were not serious, I was committed by force. It was like, so it's not such a big deal. Like in my head, I just felt it was not such a big deal, but I'm not going to let you guys kick me out for seriousness. So we became serious and we became committed. And then I think for me, it piqued my interest, because I was like, I want to see the end of this thing. Yeah. Why are you so serious? It's like school. Oh my God. And another thing I made up my mind to do was to hear for myself. They kept on telling us from week one, in this counseling process, you're going to be tempted to say, my love, did you hear? Friendship, did you hear? You know, no. They said, hear for yourself. Don't hear for the other person, and don't nudge the other person or pinch the other person into hearing. Now, we're doing this series basically to encourage you, first of all, to do premarital counseling. And like we've all said, it's a step we took that has impacted the quality of our marital lives today. Another thing we want to encourage you to do during the course of this period is also to, in case you didn't do it and you're now married, just go through the process with us, go through the 8 weeks with us. And I bet you there'll be something to shift or change or rectify or improve on or just celebrate in your relationships. Basically, this is hope. This is a message of hope. Irrespective of where it's meeting you, there is hope. And
there's Meg too.
There's Meg. I'll definitely talk about Meg in our next video. So if you want to hear about next, stay tuned. And remember to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Yeah, subscribe. Click the bell or the button below. We'll see.
Yes.